Andrew Rogers here with head coach Mike Mincey as his team takes down Tusculum by 39 points in Greenville. Coach, certainly a great performance, only led by 11 at halftime, but that second half, your team was different on offense and defense. What'd you like about how your team responded when the game was relatively close after before halftime, and you guys really turned it on there late?
Yeah, I was not happy at halftime. I was actually quite upset with our performance. Again, we scored 45 points, and maybe an outsider wouldn't understand, but I know the talent that we have in that locker room, and I know the type of players that we have, and I get to see them in practice. And so to see them be squirrely with the basketball, to shift their pivot foot and walk, every time it seemed like we made a mistake defensively, they made us pay. They hit buzzer beaters, I think, at the end of the first and second quarter for threes. And like Michaela, she's all over the place. But that's one of the things we talked about at the end. We make that nice little 2-on-1 play between her and Sky, and then we don't foul and put them like. There's just little things like that. I wasn't happy. We did not play up to our standard and up to our potential. Just on our side of the ball. Not even talking about Tusculum. And so we had a pretty spirited talk at the half, and I like how they came out and responded in the whole second half. They're early in the third quarter.
Plenty to get to in this one. We'll start with Tori Rutherford, though. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, the triple-double first in, I think, 9 or 10 years. What was it like to see her get that? It just shows how active she really is on the floor.
Well, and I'm sure everybody knows, like Tori just had her jersey retired at a big banner hung up at Granger County, and she's just another one of our local products that's a good player. She's all bought in. I mean, she's all Granger County and all Carson-Newman, and proud of how she played. She was all over the place. So to see her, I probably wouldn't put her in the game, but anytime you have a chance to get a triple-double, I think it's important for a kid to be able to get that. And it worked out to where I think her 2 assists went to Maddie Knuckles, and then, of course, she got the rebounds. But ironically enough, J.J. McLaughlin was probably the last triple-double player who was a point guard. It's both point guards that are getting them. But I think she got it here. J.J. got one of her triple-doubles at Tusculum, and so I'm proud that Tori could do it as well.
Mixed in with all these numbers, 5 different players had season highs. Michaela Alvey, Tori had 13, a season high. Campbell had 17, that's a season high. Maddie Knuckles had 5, and then Keela Rogers 10. What's it like to see so many different faces get involved in the scoring? Maybe when Braylon had struggled early and ended up getting going late, to see all those different people have success.
I mean, that's what we need, obviously. We know the type of players we have in Lindsay and Braylon both, and I think there was some time in the second half. I was talking to Dusty that. Between Braylon and Lindsay both, they had 17 of our 71 points. So it's really good because a lot of teams aren't able to function if their top 2 players like that aren't able to score or aren't having the best night scoring. And so to see the other players step up and have big scoring nights is great, because it just tells you we have a number of players that can go for numbers, not just 2.
60-plus rebounds, 26 were on the offensive glass. How did that play a factor in this win?
Well, it's huge. I mean, Michaela had 6 of them, but that's just, she's just all over the place. She's a competitor. She's a hard worker. She wants to win, whether it be in practice and in games. And so I didn't realize that stat. That's a huge number. I didn't even tell that to him. But, that's just effort, man. That's just effort, going and chasing down the ball. So proud of him for that one, yeah.
5-game win streak, 7th straight year you've been able to do that. What's that say about not only these players and the ones that have been here recently, but what you've been able to build with this culture to have win streaks like that sustained over the past 7 years now?
It's just good players, man. I'm not saying that we're anything special from a coaching standpoint, but what I think that we've done a good job is we've brought some really good players from our own backyard in here to play, and tonight is a culmination of it. Not only tonight, but what you've seen over these last few games since we last lost down at Georgia Southwestern by 4, and how we've been able to put points on the board, defend, margin of victory, and all that. I think we have a special group. I think they have a high ceiling. Who knows how many times we're going to stumble, but tonight wasn't a clean game for us. It could have been cleaner, but certainly proud of our effort.
Final question, how relieving was it to get a road win after you had missed out on your last 5?
Yeah, we're looking back at that 5-game losing streak last year. We didn't have Lindsay, we didn't have Michaela. Look how important they are to our basketball team. Our basketball team plays so much more confident when we have that availability. Tonight we had a lot of depth. We were able to play a lot of players. I feel like we have a lot of answers for what people can throw. I mean, they played Marion, I think is her name, 23, big strong kid, can leap. It's the first game I think she's seen action this year. They were playing without the ETSU transfer that came from Maryville, but we lost 5 games on the road. I understand that, but and we lost our first one this year, I guess, at Southwestern, who's an NCAA tournament type team. But our schedule's been tough. I think it's prepared us well to come here. It's always a tough place to play. I don't care the records. I don't care the stats. You got to come in here and bear down. And I saw what Tusculum was able to do against Anderson, and that's what I was fearful the most. Is Anderson had about a 10-point lead, built it to about 16, and still lost. And we had to make sure that we continued to bear down and play our game, impress a little bit, because Tusculum did it to Anderson. They certainly came back from a 16-point deficit and won the game. So we typically don't press like that, but they're the type of team that's already done it once, and I didn't want them to be able to do it again.